Student of the Game Podcast. I'm your host, Tavares. Alright, so today we're going to talk about the movie Unhinged. Unhinged is a movie starring Russell Crowe and what's the young lady's name? Her name is Karen Pistorius, okay? Let me tell you about this movie. To me, this was a horror movie because it's something that could happen in real life. And Russell Crowe, I don't know if they gave Russell Crowe a bodysuit or something, but Russell Crowe to me was bigger than Jason Voorhees in this movie. And he had the beard. He just looked like a big grizzly, big imposing figure, you know. I don't know if he took a super soldier serum or what, but listen, that dude there was very, very scary in this movie. I swear, the only thing, I tell you what, if they could have put a hockey mask on him or a goalie mask or a football helmet or something over his face or some kind of dope mask, guess what? You might be looking at a potential horror franchise right here because it has the makings of it. Because this dude here, man, he was stalking this lady in this movie just like Jason Voorhees or Michael Meyers would do or Leatherface would do their victims. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he was a little bit better than Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees in this movie, man. Because here's the thing. As far as we know about his character in this movie, he is a human being. He does not possess any type of supernatural abilities. Well, when you think about it, all right, if you saw Halloween 2018, they straight up said Michael Myers is a human, but all of the Halloween movies prior to that, we started to see that Michael Myers had some sort of supernatural ability to where he just can't die. You don't believe me? Go listen to what Dr. Loomis says in every movie. He just don't die. And he's like, die. Well, Russell Crowe was all over the place in this movie, man. All over the place. And I love it. It kind of reminds me of it's a movie called Joyride. It came out like in 2001 and 2002, starring Paul Walker and Steve Zahn and I forgot the actress, the young lady that was in the movie, but she starred in this movie called Glass House, and the guy who was the voice of Rusty Nail, Candy Cane. What was the Man, I forgot the name of the gentleman's name, but he's the dad he plays the father-in-law in The Hills Have Eyes, the remake that came out in 2006. Okay, but anyways, back to Unhinged. Pretty much, it reminds you of the horror movies like in the late 80s or in the 80s and the early 90s and stuff, because the person who's supposed to be the protagonist, she does a lot of dumb things in this movie. All right. It's just a lot of dumb things. I get it, in life we make mistakes, but in 90 minutes, this lady here makes all types of mistakes. And it seems like she just do them intentionally, and for example, okay, listen, this is kind of a spoiler review, but see, I'm letting you know what to expect from the movie. And if you haven't seen the movie, I highly suggest you watch the movie. It's on Amazon Prime right now. If you don't have Amazon Prime, you can go rent it, Redbox, or whatever. Check this movie out. But here's the thing. All right, so imagine this. Okay, you're at a red light. There's a vehicle in front of you. Okay, green light comes on. That vehicle in front of you does not move. Okay, now the other cars in the other two lanes, it was probably about 5 or 6 of those cars, 5 or 6. Those cars, they move. All right, they're driving. Now, okay, that car is still in front of you in your lane. It's a pickup truck, all right? And, most people would just, okay, look in their right mirror. All right, no oncoming traffic coming for this lane. Let me just switch lanes and go around this person here. That's what most people would do. No, this lady here, she stayed right there behind it, okay? And then she honked the horn. She didn't do the beep beep. No, she did one of those honks where it goes. Just imagine somebody behind you holding their hands just on the horn. She did that, and we all understand what proper driver etiquette is. All right, she did that, and that's one of those things. It's like, hey man, you really have to have some type of big reason to be to be doing that. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And in most cases, that's just straight up unnecessary. And a lot of times you're going to be looking at a confrontation and stuff. There's certain levels to confrontations, but sometimes it could be a level 2 confrontation or it could be a level 10. In this situation here with RussellCrowe, it ended up being a level 11.5. All right? Because what happens is he eventually pulls up behind her after she drives off. And he says, hey, I couldn't get the general courtesy of a little courtesy tap where he goes, And the lady, she starts mouthing off at him and stuff like that. But see, here's the thing. She has a 12-year-old son. I think her son is like 11 or 12 years old, something like that. I don't care how old it is. It's your child. You have somebody back there. He's in the back seat, okay? And when I think about it, why is he in the back seat anyway? Why wouldn't he want to sit in the front with his mom? But that's another thing. But anyways, he's in the back seat. So when RussellCrowe pulls up, he's on the passenger backside of where the kid is at. All right. And he was like, hey, let the window down. And the son let the window down. And he said, hey, is everything okay? Like, I couldn't get the courtesy tap. And she was like, well, you was all up in the way. You wouldn't move and blah, 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 and I just honked the horn. I did nothing wrong. And he's like, okay, well, you had a bad day. I'm sorry. I've also had a bad day, too. So I tell you what, I'm sorry for holding you up and contributing to your bad day. All right. Those weren't his exact words, but you get the picture. All right. And she says, okay, fine. And then he says, okay, well, excuse me, miss. Hey, I apologize to you. I mean, don't you think you should apologize to me also? I've also had a bad day. She says, I'm not apologizing to you. I don't owe you anything. I did nothing wrong to you and stuff like that. I did nothing wrong to you, whatever. And I'm like, oh boy. I'm like, it's one thing to do this when you are by yourself and, in your own, there's no other passengers and stuff, but your child is in the car. And then when he tried to let the window up, guess what? The window got stuck. All right. So this man is closer to your child than he is to you. And you're talking ish. Listen. All right. In that situation, listen, man. Whether if I'm right or wrong, because I know that person is closest to my child, check this out. I'm trying to get home safely. I'm trying to get my kid home safely. It's your job to protect your children. All right. She goes to mouthing off at the dude, and even her 12-year-old son was saying, Mom, just apologize. No, I got nothing to apologize about. And then he said, oh, okay. And then he says, well, she said, I had a bad day. And he said, you had a bad day? He said, okay. All right, I'll show you what a bad day is. Okay. And that's how it started. Throughout the whole doggone movie, he's following her. Well, he's doing more than following. He stalks her. I mean, he does a whole lot of things, man. And unfortunately, in these situations, a lot of other people get killed because of this lady's hit. A lot of it, well, it's RussellCrowe's fault. He shouldn't be killing people. But what I'm saying is the situation could have been easily nullified had she just said, I was sorry. All right. And that's one of those things in life. I mean, you gotta gauge the room, because everyone is going through something. All right. Like, you have some people, just because they're smiling or laughing doesn't mean they're not going through anything. And a lot of times, just because someone's crying doesn't mean they're going through the worst thing. Okay. What's worse for me might not be worse for you, and vice versa. Okay. But in this situation, it shows you, it's like, okay, well, it's two people who are apparently having a very, very bad day. All right. And he took it upon himself to apologize for contributing to her bad day. She refused to apologize. And then that just set him off. It's like, okay. And that's one of those situations. I've been there before. We all been there before, where it's like, okay, I apologize. All right. This person here can't even give me a my bad or my fault. That he or she is acting like they are the only ones who are going through something bad. We're all going through something. But this movie here, man, like, RussellCrowe goes on the deep end on this, man, and he is really stalking her. Like I say, when you watch this movie here, it's going to remind you of every movie that you've seen where the person is coming, where it's like nothing can stop this person. All right. It was. I know I mentioned Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I didn't mention Freddy Krueger because Russell Crowe, he's not supernatural in this movie, okay? So he's not coming into her dreams. But it reminds me of Joyride. It reminds me of the movie Hitchhiker. I don't know if you've seen that. If you haven't seen Hitchhiker, you should definitely check that movie out, okay? It's Hitchhiker falls in the same category as with Joyride in this movie here. But Russell Crowe gives a magnificent performance, man. He is very, 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 very scary and intimidating in this movie. Like, you know, the scenes that when you see him interacting with other people in here and stuff with the victims, oh man, it is high intensity. You know, it makes the hair on your face, on your forearms, perk up. I know. Hey, you're probably like, hey man, I don't have facial hair or I don't have hair on my arms. Well, let me tell you something. After you watch this movie, it's gonna feel like you have hair on your arms or on your face because it's gonna perk up. Chills. It's gonna bring chills to you. That's the word I'm looking for. All right, but I highly recommend this movie. Scale to 1 to 10. Let's see. For what it is, I give it an 8. All right. Now check this out. In this movie, let me tell you. You're gonna be doing a lot of this. You're gonna be like, why is she doing that? Why is she doing that? Man, like, that is so dumb. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you putting yourself in that situation? Oh, now you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. Oh, Russell Crowe, oh, dang, Russell Crowe. Let me tell you, you're gonna be doing a lot of that. We saw this movie at home, but man, I wish this was a movie we would have saw in the movie theaters. Cause movies like this, I enjoy the crowd reaction and stuff. You know, it's one of those things, especially when the whole crowd is in unison on something, you know. I love watching those movies where it's like that, where it's like the whole crowd is getting scared at the same time. The whole crowd is saying, man, that is so dumb. Why are you doing that? Okay? Like, I'm going to tell you something. I forgot which commercial it is where the 5 teenagers or the 5 young people or whatever, then they were running away from someone who had a chainsaw. They was making a mockery of those 80s and 90s horror movies where a lot of people, where they have the chance to get away. For example, the lady said, shouldn't we just get into that car with that's already started? Shouldn't we just hop in that? And the dude said, no, I think we should just go in the barn. We should go in the barn, man. Let's go in the barn. And they go in the barn, and in the barn, what's hanging is an axe, pitchforks, and machetes, and all type of weapons. And it's like, yeah, we're safe in here. And the serial killer, the serial killer that's in the commercial, he's looking like, okay, they are dumb. I'm not even trying to get them. Man, I forgot what commercial it is. Man, if anybody knows, comment below. But check this out. After watching this movie, whoever created that commercial, I'm pretty sure they're going to do another version of that commercial using certain scenes from this movie here. Because this lady here is like, you could have just did that. You could have did this. And I understand, you know, me and my wife as an audience member, we're watching the movie. So it's easy to say that. But a lot of those things she was doing, no, I don't see us making that same mistake. Now, here's the thing though. I never would want me or my wife or anybody else to be put in that predicament, okay? Unless it's in a movie, all right? But real life, no, I don't want that kind of action. But this is a very good movie. I give it an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. It has, you have to tailor your expectations, all right? I mean, like I say, it's a cat and mouse game. And well, I'm not going to even say cat and mouse because Russell Crowe was like a doggone tiger, man. He was a lion. You know, had the big beard. It's like he had a mane. He was like a brutal lion, the way he was stalking this lady and the way he was attacking his victims, man. Like, dude was unstoppable. The only thing he's missing, if they was able to figure out a way to put a mask over him or something, then, you know what? That mask right there, because a lot of times masks are important for horror franchises. All right, Halloween, Jigsaw, Freddy Kruger, Friday the 13th, Leatherface, all of them. All right, but anyways, I recommend you check out this movie. It's a very good movie, Unhinged. Hey, I recommend you check it out because I saw it and I liked it. I thought it was dope. But anyways, comment below whether or not if you've seen this movie or if you plan on checking it out. Let me know your thoughts, whether or not if you liked it or not. And also hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you all for tuning in. Student of the Game Podcast. Peace.